The No Nonsense Roundtable. It's a weekly show broadcast on Rochester, New York's 50,000-watt iHeart radio station, News Radio Wham 1180. The host, Dom Geneva, interviews guests from all walks of life, all with amazing stories to tell. What you are about to hear is a recording of a previous broadcast with limited commercials. Now, here's host, Dom Geneva.
Well, welcome everybody to another edition of the No Nonsense Roundtable. I'm your host, Dom Geneva, every Saturday right here, and you know that. But you can get all the former shows on NoNonsenseRoundtable.com. And if we're talking about this show being about people that you know and you should know more about, and people you don't know you should know, I have somebody here that I bet you a lot of people are going to know and a lot of people aren't going to know. And his name is Butch, and you pronounce your name Rolle, right?
Yes, Butch, steak, rattle, and roll, as Chris Berman would
steak,
say.
rattle, roll. Used to play with the Bills for quite a few years, and then for the Cardinals. And the reason I met Butch is because Jim Shelley's got this wonderful blues club and pub in Lima. I always talk about. He's one of the sponsors of my show, and we were there the other day. And Butch was playing with his band. It was right after the Bills game, and I got to meet and know Butch, and there's a heck of a story here with you, buddy. It really is. I'm really proud to have you on the show.
Thank you, Dom. I'm happy to be here. I'm always fortunate and happy to share my life and story with, Buffalo, that Western New York City, and that Bills Mafia because of my closeness and my attachment to Buffalo since 1986 when I was drafted by the Bills. And I've been a part of Buffalo ever since. And those 6 years I've spent in Buffalo with the Bills were wonderful years. I was fortunate to go to 2 Super Bowls. And, the last 2 that they went to, as far as dealing with Dallas and playing against Dallas, I happened to be in Arizona at the time because of free agency. And however, I was still there after the season. I was rooting for the Bills, rooting for them to have success. So Buffalo, I tell everybody, that is my second home. I'm always there. My son still lives there. My kids, my family, I have family and friends there. So that place, that city will always be near me and always be a home to me.
Well, I think a lot of the Bills players feel that way. Josh Allen gives that aura, like he's found his home, and people just relate to the team. You know what it's almost like is back in the day. In the 50s, the Dodgers were Brooklyn's team. And even when they were losing, they were, them bums, but they loved them. I mean, they loved them. It was woven into the culture of Brooklyn. And that's the same thing with the Bills. I mean, you talk about, really, it is the only New York team. I mean, come on.
Absolutely, yes, by far. Everybody talks about the New York Jets and the New York Giants, but Buffalo, when it boils down to it, we're the only team that plays in New York State of New York. So, yes.
Yeah,
I have a I have a T-shirt that we made up. We said Buffalo, the official team of New York, which is the official team of New York because we're the only team. So yes, that's true. And people, the fans, love that team, love that city, and anywhere you go, even here in Florida, they are Bills advocates and Bills crazy and Bills Mafia all in one, and I love it when I see that. Anytime I see a Bills logo or a Bills shirt on someone in here in South Florida, I make sure I go and greet them and talk to them about the great years and the years that we're having now, and they love it. They all love it, and it's just a beautiful thing. And I can only imagine this week they're playing Miami. We will take over this city, just as always, when they always take over South Florida when they play Miami. And I love it. I just laugh at everybody. I say, wow, we have more fans in the stands than Miami do.
That's right. So. That's right. One of the few direct flights you can get from Rochester, so that helps you. That helps you quite a bit. But I had the privilege of interviewing Del Reed, and Del Reed is the fellow who invented Bills Mafia back when. It's really kind of crazy story. So he posted something online, and somebody trash talked him, and then he says, "Watch it, the Bills Mafia are going to come get you." And it was just like 3 of his friends, and it caught. And now the Bills own Bills Mafia. Now there's Bills Mafia Frosties and beer and all this other stuff, just because this fellow Bill Reed, he came up with this mafia thing.
I'm telling you, Dom, I'm gonna tell you a story. Some years back, I had this guy heckling me online. The guy from Florida knew me from growing up, and he was a big Dolphin fan. he was making some really derogatory comments about Bills and just making just negative things he was saying. And I swear to you not, I had my Mafia, because I have all my Bills fans, they're Mafia, they're friends on Facebook.
Yeah.
They attacked him so great. I laughed. I said, I don't have to say anything. And I'm telling you, I haven't heard from this guy. And I promise you, this was about at least 8-9 years ago. Yeah. I haven't heard from him. He's not even on my page anymore. So I think he took himself off. But that was a beautiful thing. And that's when I realized, well, I always knew, but even then, after being retired so many years, I said, dude, you don't want to mess with the Mafia, man. They got on his case, and I said, wow, look at this. It's like the Swifties.
Yeah, like the Swifties, yes. Look what that's done for football. Well,
in the beehives.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to Scott Petoniak. He's a well-published sports writer here in Rochester, and he was saying, I asked him one day, I said, this Bills Mafia thing, do other teams have, he goes, no, this is very unusual. He says, and the other thing about the Bills Mafia is the good things they do for people, and it's some things sort of in a tongue-in-cheek way. You know, when one of the refs had a bad call once, they donated money to some sight center where people got free glasses or something. You know?
It's the beautiful thing, on top of this being funny, because, you know, like I tell everybody, the Bills Mafia are a giving bunch of people, and they will support you. They will do what it takes to help you and to make sure you overcome, you know, some adversity. And my foundation, what I have, consists of only Bills Mafia. That's all, because those are the ones that support us and help us support the kids. And I thank them every time we have events. It's all about the Mafia. I attend cities where I only know there's going to be a Bills sports bar or a Bills fan base, because I know they're going to come out and support. They're going to come out and be there for us to help our mission, to really look at what we're doing and be part of our mission. And I love them for that. Trust me. Well,
I want to mention your charity a number of times. We're about ready to head into a break. We got about another minute. But let's get into this early, because I do want people to know about it. I do want people to donate to it. And just give me that 1 minute thumbnail on your program and what you do.
Okay, a short version of it. I established this 12 years ago, and over the past 4 years, it has grown, even though we helped a lot of kids prior to that. But the last 4 years, when we really got the Bills Mafia and the whole congregation involved, it just blew up. It became a big thing. So we're able to help kids in different states: Florida, Texas, North Carolina, Buffalo, which is our main city, and in Virginia, all these cities that we're able to help things where we have are giving out and helping with the Bills organization and just doing the things that we need to do to give these kids who are underprivileged kids, seniors that are going to college. They apply for a scholarship. Anywhere it ranges from $500 to $1,000, and trust me, you will be surprised how many kids really appreciate that and need that, because some of them come up, they're short, they don't have book money, they don't have the full tuition money, or just to do the things that they need to do to get into college. So that's where we come in. I always call myself the X Factor. So they apply for scholarships, and then we look at these scholarships and determine which one, or I have the school determine that, so they can make it easier for me, because they know their students a lot better. So I said, listen, you pick a kid or two, and we'll provide a scholarship at graduation to them. And so that's what we do. We help kids with tutoring and scholarships, and sometimes meals. So there's a lot of kids come to school hungry from having large families. They don't eat well. So we provide these contributions so we can help these kids who are in need. And that's what I've been doing. And it's a passion. And I incorporated my music with it, just to have another facet just to go along with what we're doing to promote and to get more people involved. So that's why you saw me playing on Sunday at Jim's, because that was part of our whole weekend realm that we had with all the events that was going on.
Yep, so to raise money for your cause. Now, yes. we're about ready to get into a break. Let's get that website in right now before we get into the break. Give me the website.
The website is www.thebutchrollefoundation.org.
The Butch Rolle Foundation. Butch Rolle with 2 L's or 1 L? There's 2 L's.
Yes, 2 L. That's my name, the way I spell my name, Rolle.
Okay.
Yes, the Butch Rolle foundation.org. So yes, it's there. You can go on that site. They have a donate button, and it's there just to, hey, whatever God blesses your heart with, it helps.
Okay,
Everything
ladies
helps.
and ladies, I hate to push you off right now, but we got to get into this break, and we will come back and talk more about this, well, after the break. This is Dom from my friends at Jack Greco Furniture. You drive your car, you live with your furniture. That's why Nita and I buy our furniture locally from Jack Greco. Hey, lots of old name furniture manufacturers switch to mass production, producing their furniture who knows where. Why settle for that? Jack has quality pieces made by true craftsmen, and if you need a custom piece, Jack can do that for you too. The season's upon us. Jack has quality outdoor furniture you won't find anywhere else. Go to jackgreco.com. This is Dom for my friend John McClurg. John has two dealerships, McClurg Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram and McClurg Chevrolet, both in Perry. Hey, you don't buy a car all that often, so when you do, shouldn't you go to a place you can put your trust in? You can depend on McClurg. John's dealerships are family dealerships where people you deal with today are the people you will deal with tomorrow. No nonsense. Go visit them at McClurg ChryslerDodgeJeep.com or McClurgChevrolet.com. Well, welcome back, everybody. We're talking to former Bill, and he played for the Cardinals, Butch Rolle. Yeah. We're not mentioning the Cardinals all that much today.
Unfortunately.
I know where my bread is buttered.
Dom, I always tell everybody football is a business, of course. The Bills were my team. I spent 6 great years, and I wanted to continue my career there. And it was up. I was a free agent, and we had 3 great tight ends. They had Pete Melasauce, and Keith McKellar, and my contract was up at the time. And I said, listen, I was going around looking at other teams, and I told the Bills, I said, listen, if you have the budget and the cap or whatever to match it, I don't want to go anywhere. And this is my team. This is my home. I've established a great rapport there. And I said, everybody, these guys are my brothers, so I don't want to go. But, of course, it's all about business when the numbers at the end of the day. And, I had to do what I have to do. This is family. This is for my family and my, my wealth and my life. And I said, you don't know how long you're going to play this game. So you have to be smart. Unfortunately, we don't have the kind of money they have now, but, that's what it was back then. So I had to take advantage of an opportunity, which I did. But like I said early in the conversation, at Buffalo is my first home. I always came back, supported them at the offseason because, the Cardinals, we didn't make the playoffs. So I was there supporting them through the playoffs and through that Houston comeback game. Then, then have the two Dallas Super Bowls. So that still was home to me.
Well, let's talk a little bit. The question, I probably know the answer to this one, but the question I like to ask people, because sometimes is a really strange answer I get. Did you always want to play ball since you were 10, or was there something else that you wanted to do back when you were a little boy?
I'm going to tell you something that shocked you. Believe it or not, I didn't even think about football. I knew about football, but I didn't even think about – I never had that mindset, I want to be a football player. I want to be like this guy. I grew up in a very religious household. My father was a minister. My mother was a minister, and that's all they cared about. That's all they talked about. That's what it was. My dad had his own congregation. I had to be in church every Sunday, every Wednesday, and I didn't start playing sports until the 10th grade.
Really?
Yes, I never played Little League. I was too big to play Little League because I grew. I was bigger than everybody. So back then, I couldn't play. I was oversized. So I never played until the 10th grade. I had 3 years of high school. Thank God I was talented. I had, skills, and my size was just humongous at that time. And I just kind of fell into I learned on the run, and it was a beautiful thing. And once that started, I'm happy. And then I became interested, said, okay, wow, this is an opportunity. My coach said, listen, you got a chance to go to school. And sure enough, as I kept developing over those years, by the time my senior year, I had colleges from all over the nations inviting me, wanted me to come visit and wanted me to come to university. So that's the blessing in its own, like I said, because I never grew up thinking about football. I like I said, in the church, I can play 5 different instruments, and that's how I learned how to be a musician, because my father's had that church, and we had to all get on the different instruments, jump on one instrument after another, just to we had a big family, so that's how it was. We all switched up on each song, so I had to learn the drums, the keyboard, the bass guitar, the lead guitar. It's how it was. I played the trombone in high school, so it was music in church and religion that my focus was on as a kid.
I just love this. I really do. You find out these things about people that Yes, I wanted to be. We have the broadcaster here, Don Alhart. Yes, I knew I wanted to be in broadcasting ever since I was 5 years old. And then you have other people. The strangest thing is I had two different women say that they want to be cowgirls. Okay, you live in Syracuse, you want to be a cowgirl. The natural assumption for people is to say, oh, this guy, he wanted to play ball since, Beckett. No. So the interesting thing about this is, okay, 10th grade. Now,
yes.
First
time playing football.
Okay, but what made you play football? I mean, the coach came up to you and said, "Hey, you're a pretty big fella. You'd be good on the football team." I mean, what precipitated?
You're gonna laugh.
What?
You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh. I was in the marching band. I was 6'2". 6'2", 215 pounds, playing the bass drum. So my coach saw me during the game. I mean, during the halftime, he came up to me after the game. He said, "Why isn't you I don't know if I can say this on there. Why isn't you a big ass on the football field?" I'm like, I don't think you have to talk to my father about that. He will not let me play football.
Oh my God!
But I was in the marching band, and I was the biggest player. I had this hat on. I stood out over everyone. It was so funny. But yet, listen, my coach, my high school coach, came. He talked to my father, and the rest is history, Dom. I love that guy. I still talk to him. He's up in northern Florida. Every time he sees my post and my achievement, he just smiles and he just said, "I knew you were special." That's what he told me all the time. And it's just, I told him, I said, I would not have been where I am if it wasn't for you, Mr. Grunner. And I love that guy because he took the chance. He came and got me off the band. And it's the funny thing about it. I'm sitting there after my dad agreed to let me play. He said, "Mr. Rolle, I'll make sure he's okay." And I even asked him, I said, "So can I still go play at halftime?" Because I wanted to stay with the guys in the band. And he's like, "No, you can't do that. You have to be in the locker room." So I'm like, okay, you know what? I was fine with it. Then, once football was over, I played basketball and I did track, but I still kept my music because I was part of the jazz band.
Now, tell me you didn't wear one of those hats with the feathers on the top and stuff like that.
Yes. I looked like I was from London, standing at the gate at Buckingham Palace.
So whatever they did to you as a rookie could paled to being in the marching band. Now, let me ask you a question about music then. Do you know how to read music?
No. I am strictly play by ear. Yeah. If I hear it, I can play it, which everybody's like, wow, that's the heck of a talent. I say that's how I grew up. And in stage band, when marching band, I played the drums. We did learn how to read the drum music. That's what I can read that. But as far as anything else, I played the trombone for like a half a year, but I didn't stay into it. But I know music. I know the notes. I know what note it is. But if you put a sheet of music in front of me, I would look at it. It's like, what is that? I don't want that. I'll just figure it out on my own. And that's what I do. And that's what, I love the blues and you do those 3 chords. And I'm an ear player, and that's how I learned it. It's more rewarding that way because I tried to do guitar lesson. It lasted all of a week. My dad said, he put me in, and I said, "Dad, this is boring, man. Save your money. I don't want to do it. I'll figure it out on my own." And sure enough, I just started learning things on my own because I can, as a kid, you're inquisitive. So you're going to go out and listen to music, listen to these songs on the radio, and that's how you learn. And that's what I did. I hear a song on the radio, I go and imitate it. That's the way I've learned. Anytime I've learned a song, so yes.
Well, you know who can't read music is Paul McCartney.
Really?
Paul McCartney, one of the four Beatles. He cannot read music.
I didn't know. Hey, Jimi Hendrix couldn't either. So that's the thing. So
Jimmy's
I
my
love
favorite.
all those guys.
Jimi Hendrix playing Voodoo. What is it? What was it? God Almighty! What's the song? Voodoo
Child.
Voodoo Child. Yeah, Voodoo Child. That's what it is. Yeah. Oh my
that's
God.
one of my favorites. We play that too. That's one of my favorites.
Well, next time I see it. Now, hey, a little more retail. You're going to be here on December 8th.
8th, yes, we're coming back. I'm going to be up. I'm doing another big, huge bowling event in Jamestown. It's the other side of Buffalo. And again, because I had a huge bowling event this past weekend, and the gentleman in Jamestown couldn't make it. So he asked me, why don't you come do one up here? I said, well, this is the thing. If you're willing to be my boots on the ground, I'll make it happen and that's what I did with this last one. It just so happened because that's our annual week and everybody knew me and I had the same teams and the same couple of sponsors. So it was able to pull it off real successful. Everybody had fun. I had some new kids come out from a alternative school that just had the best time of their life. They told their leaders and teachers that was the best day of their life. And when I hear kids say that, man, that warms my heart. And I said, I've done my job. I've done my job. And these kids are happy. And they're going to remember this for a very long time.
Well, we're about ready to heading into a hard news break. And we're going to talk a little bit more about your kids. Well, a lot more about your kids when we come back from this break.
Thank you.
Hey, gang, this is Dom. This section of the show is sponsored by, well, me. A couple of things here. One is now you can go to nononsenseroundtable.com and see a list of businesses that I use. They're listed under, well, businesses that I use, and I don't charge to be on that page, nor do I take endorsement fees. It's just places I can recommend. Next, if you like the idea of being a sponsor of one of the sections, it's affordable. Go to nononsenseroundtable.com and contact me there.
Well, welcome back. We're talking not to. Butch, I always think that's kind of rude when I say, well, I'm talking to, like I'm yapping at you. Hopefully
that's natural.
Yeah.
Dom, it's natural when you're on the radio. That's radio talk. So, we're talking with. We're talking with.
Yes, we're having a conversation with.
Exactly. Absolutely.
Yes. And so I saw Butch playing here, not football because he played football years ago, but playing with his group at the wonderful Fanatics Pub and Blues Stage here in Lima. And this is the first time I've seen you. You play the guitar. You play the guitar magnificently well. And I'm looking at you and I go, geez, that guy can't be over 40. Yeah. And I'm like, you're 60. You're 60. You're old Dom.
60. Hey, I'm still accepting birthday gifts, guys. And we're just getting out of August. August 19th was my big 60 birthday, and I thank God for every day. And people always don't believe me when I tell them my age, which is a great thing. I like that, so I'm doing something right. So, and I tell everybody, listen, I'm committed. I'm disciplined. I made a promise to myself. I said, when I leave the sport of football, I will not let myself go. I wouldn't let myself physically go. I will stay involved in my conditioning because that was a big, important part of my life when I played. That's what kept me healthy. That's what kept me to be who I am, to be successful. And that's what I did when I was done. I stayed in that realm. I owned a gym for 3 years. I continue to work out. I eat well. I do the things I'm supposed to do to give myself a chance because we had a very, very physical game back in the days. They don't have all these rules they have now. These cotton ball rules right now. It's a softer game, but they're trying to protect the players, which I do understand. But they didn't allow that for us back in the days. They would have. We, anything go. That's what I was. Anything went. So I made sure myself. I stayed in the weight room. I stayed conditioned. I got my sleep. I did what I was supposed to do, and I still do that to this day. So I think that's why I always have that 20-year younger look, which is a great thing. I love to inspire people because I'm a fitness guy. I'm an IFBB pro. I used to do fitness, and I received a pro card in that. And that's important to me when kids and adults look at me and ask me questions. What do you do? Even players, man, what are you doing? I'm disciplined. I'm committed, and I have a lifestyle. And that's what I tell them. I said, you have to do that in order to have success. And if you don't do that, then you're not going to achieve the goals that you want. And that's what I've been doing since I left the game years ago.
No, I'm looking at you. I'm saying, why is this guy playing today? I mean, geez. I mean, what? He's playing the guitar.
My guys in the band
guys
in the band tease me all the time. Man, you need to go suit up. I say, you know what, guys? If they had a player's coach position, I would do it. I would be happy to be a player's coach out there on the sideline, being that advocate and just motivating those guys, because I feel that, listen, I look at some of the guys, I'm like, dang, I look like you. I look like him. I look good. Just as good as him. So I'm like, but it's an age thing, of course. Football is an age thing. But I know that it takes commitment and, a desire to achieve these goals and to stay focused. It's about focusing.
Okay,
on what
so let's get this out of the way right away. Okay, let's get this out of the way. We got to get this out of the way right away. Okay.
What is it?
My daughter both went to school and worked for the University of Notre Dame. And you went to Michigan State.
Michigan State.
Let's get this out of the way. We're still going to be friends.
Okay, let me hear it. Hey, I got something. That's okay. Go ahead and say it. I got something to say about that too.
Go ahead. Just don't say that. Don't say. No, just don't say you're a Red Sox fan.
Huh?
Don't say you're a Red Sox fan.
Oh no! I was going to say Notre Dame. I caught a game-winning touchdown in Notre Dame.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah. In South Bend. I never forget that game in the corner. Dave Urema to the corner of the Butch Rolle, game-winning touchdown. So,
God bless you. God bless you. They're nuts. I mean, the whole town is. I mean, there's no except for ND. It's just
that fan base. I don't know if they're in the same field, but back then that field sat right. The fans sat right on top of the field. It's like they were sitting on top of your head.
Yeah. That's how it was. Wow. You still get splinters in your ass from the seats.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, man, these people are very close here, man. Like,
So let me throw a couple of names at you. Marv Levy. I have a little bit of a Marv Levy story. So when I was working for Chrysler, when I had my dealership, after I worked for Chrysler, we won some award and we were in Syracuse. And Marv Levy comes up and he gives a speech and whatever. He talks to Nita, and Nita introduces herself. And he's very gracious with her. And at the end of the evening, after, the thing is over, he comes up to her and asks her, well, how'd you like the night? Nita, blah, blah, blah. And it was like, oh, my God, this guy seems like he's so personable and so much of a gentleman. And, how is he as a coach?
Man, I love that guy. Marv is the calmest coach, the smartest coach. As a matter of fact, Marv is one of the reasons why when I was, NFLPA, they have this program where you can go back to school, the guys who didn't finish and guys who want to pursue their education, continue their education. Me, I finished my degree. I get my bachelor's. Then I went and did my master's on my own. And then because I was thinking about Marv, because Marv was a Phi Beta Kappa. Doc has a PhD. I went back to school 5 years ago. Just finished last July my doctorate in educational leadership. And I always address to my group of my peers when we were going through the program, I say I had a coach, and my chair knew that I had a coach that had a PhD, and that guy was smart as a whistle. And today, like I said, he's 99, and he is Marv. When he up until 97, the last time I seen him, he knew who I was. He knew all of his players. He even would tease me, come up to me and say, "Okay, Butch, let's go. We're gonna run that roll left play," because my play was my goal line. That was the role play where I scored all those touchdowns, and it was funny. Every time we go to the sideline, I would tell Marv, I say, "Marv, the play is there." When we have short yardage, I say that play is there. I could have scored 28 times in a row instead of 14 times, and it would have been successful. And it was he's just a sharp guy, never yelled, always.
Really?
Mark tried to get mad one time, Dom, and everybody started laughing. One of the guys, we were on the road, and a couple of the guys came in late to the meeting, and he tried to say it in a brisk and a harsh way, but it didn't come out right. It didn't sound tough. It didn't sound, it didn't sound scary like some coaches would sound. It was just a very intellectual, softer version of yelling, and everybody. I was laughing. I hate to say that.
I grew up in an Italian neighborhood. That would be unheard of.
Oh yeah. You don't want to laugh at that.
Well, yelling was just another way of communicating. I had no idea.
Listen, I grew up with a preacher as a kid, and my dad was, he's shorter than me, but he had forearms like Popeye, and I'm scared of him. I don't even want to try it because he always just tell me, I don't care how big or tall you get at me, you better always let me win. That was his thing.
Well, you said big. No, you said big family. How big is a big family? How many kids you got?
There was 10 of us.
Whoa!
Yeah, so tell me that's not big.
Whoa!
There was 10 of us, man. But my oldest one brother, he passed away when he was a baby, so there was 9 of us. But there were 6 boys and 3 girls. Technically, 7 boys and 3 girls. But I grew up knowing the 6 boys and 3 girls. So yeah, it's a big family. That's why I tell everybody, I grew up with a big family, and I like being around people. I have to, because that's what I know. And going to college, college is a brotherhood. You have like 50, 60 something guys on a team. So I've always had people around, and I come in contact with these people that wants to be loners that just don't have that type of mindset. I'm like, dude, I'm sorry. I've been around people. I like that. I have to be around people. I don't know. And then you go and play professional football. You have people out there and screaming at you, 80,000 people. So it always was a crowd in my life.
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk more about that, and we're going to give a real good push on your charity, and we're going to see that right. Well, we're going to hear that right after this. This is Dom for my friend Jim Shelley and his Fanatics Pub and Blue Stage in Lyman, New York. Like I say, a short scoot down 390 to exit 10, make a left at the light. A couple of miles down the road, there's Fanatics Pub and Blue Stage. You can see their nightly shows by going to fanaticspub.com, but this time of the year, his patio is open for free entertainment 3 to 6 on weekends. Go! It's a great place. Well, welcome back. We're having a wonderful conversation. Butch,
I love it.
Yeah, we're having fun, Butch. I mean, when you're here in December, you got to come over and I'll make you some Italian food. I like doing that.
Ooh, as long as you make me some broccoli, chicken and broccoli, I love that.
Yeah.
That's my thing. I said one of my favorite dishes.
Oh yeah, and I'll teach you what a sfogliatelle is. You don't know it, but it's really nice and it's tasty. But nobody knows what sfogliatelle is.
I'm all for that.
But anyway, so we were talking about your career with primarily with the Bills. So you mentor and you hand out scholarships to kids. So a lot of your life, it seems, is devoted to making the place a little bit better than the way it was, the world.
Absolutely.
And that's and not everybody that's a sports hero is really a hero. I mean, it's just the way it is. And
I know.
You see a different side of life, and you're trying to contribute to the world, and that probably comes from your parents, right? I mean, the values that they gave you.
Absolutely. My dad was a giving person, and mom, they were giving people. We would feed the kids in the neighborhood. I would go over to my relatives at the neighbor's house and eat. It was just that upbringing and that camaraderie we had as a giving, loving family. And like I said, being around 9 kids, 9 of us, that was a football, that was a little basketball team there, with our bench guys. But the thing is, we always had that close knit, and I see, I didn't grow up in the suburbs. It was a rural area, but my dad had his own landscaping business. He worked hard and showed us how to value things, and he didn't give you anything, and he made you work for it. I would work with him in the summertime on his landscaping. So it was something that I seen just working hard. And then when I had the opportunity, once my kids were old enough, once they got out of school, because I used to travel back and forth from Florida to Buffalo to raise the kids because they were living in Buffalo. I said, once these guys are old enough, they graduate, and you guys can come down to Florida a little bit more often. And I wanted to do a foundation. So I said, this is what I want to do. I want to help kids, because I was working with some youth in football programs, and I see these kids from the inner city. They come, they don't have cleats, they don't have, nothing, they don't have jerseys. So I started reaching out to some sponsors that I would meet at golf events and say, hey, I'm playing. I'm working these kids, and they're coming to school, inner city kids, they don't have cleats. They don't have, you want to donate? So they were willing to do it. And since then, I said, I've been working to where I see how important this extra $500, this extra $1,000 to kids that need that extra push to get over the hump in order to get in college, how important it is. And I see them graduate, and they come back and thank me. And they come be part of the social, the brand that I have over there at the school. And it's just something that I've been doing. And even during Christmas time, we have a toy drive because there's a lot of kids don't have the funds, and parents don't have the funds to buy toys. So I have these events, same thing, a Bills Mafia event, and that particular event goes towards our toy drive during Christmas time. And that's what's important to me, because giving back, I have this slogan. When I came back, I said, I came back to give back. I have that on some gear or merchandise. And it's just one of those things that's important to me, because I know how important that is to help kids and see the smile on their face. And that's my passion, and that's my mission until it's time for me to go to heaven. That's what I will be doing. So
let's give everybody the web address again for your foundation.
www.thebutchrollefoundation.org. It's like I said, we do this with the support of the community. Like I said, the Bills Mafia. Like I said, our support comes from 99.9% Bills Mafia. That's how it's, because I live down here in Dolphin Country. I don't like these guys, and it's so funny. Everybody comes up to me, man, you grew up here. I liked them when I was growing up, but when I was older, like I said, when I became a Buffalo Bill, I had to develop that hatred, and I loved it, because what happened, it was a whole different culture. They became, this culture became bandwagoners. The Dolphins will win. They love the Dolphins. The minute they lose, they're out partying and stuff. I don't like this guy. I don't like this organization. I don't like this fan base. And I just despise them. Even living here, I despise the Dolphins. And I don't want nothing aqua color green. And people just don't understand. How can you grow up liking the Dolphins? No, I said, because it was different then. But now, it's just a whole different vibe.
Some of the fans there was a big billboard outside of Madison Square Garden that says, to fire the owners of the Jets. What kind of nonsense is that? I mean,
already?
Get rid of the owner. No, this is going back a year or two ago. Wow. Get rid of the owners. How are you going to? First of all, how are you going to get rid of the owners? How stupid! What a waste of money.
I'm like, wait a minute.
You don't own the team. I
guess the owner's going to get rid of them. I don't know.
I don't know. The funny thing is, I'll go back to a story. It has nothing to do with anything at all, other than I was a car dealer for all these years, and people would, every once in a while you have some idiot who would say, I'm going to call Chrysler up and I'm going to have them take your franchise away. No, you're not. No, you're not. That's not happening. Oh
my God.
Okay, Mr. Young,
you're so funny.
Your windshield wipers didn't come in. You have to wait for 3 more days, but we're not getting rid of Mr. Geneva's dealership. No, that's not happening.
I know. They get a little over anxious and just overzealous and just start coming up with these most ridiculous comments. So
there's no. I'll teach you before you go. I know I mentioned this on my show a couple of times. I used to be worried about making everybody happy, and then finally I came up with my 7% rule. And people talk about the percentage, but they never argue with the concept, Butch. And it goes like this. I'll clean up the language. 7% of the people in the world are either nuts or mean, and you can't do anything with that. That's like the guy that's yelling at you. The thing that you had. He's either nuts. He thinks that the world is flat, or he's just mean. You can't do anything with him. What are you going to do? Ashpat. Italian. We go Ashpat. What are you going to do? So
exactly. Yeah. Listen, you just have to just deal with them and say, hey. Yeah. My mom would say, hey, I'll just pray for them.
That's right. And then you have some people that. You take a look at like Scott Norwood, what a nice guy, good guy, and whatever, and even like Tyler Bass, just recently too, and you look at these guys and they go, they're going to live with this. The human beings are going to live with it forever, and there are people that are still deriding them, and that takes some character. It's got to take a lot of character when you're playing ball, right? I mean, sometimes. I mean, as good as you were, I'm sure sometimes you screwed up, right? You went back to the locker room and you're hanging your head, right?
We're humans, yeah. Hey, I mean, we all hung our head in that Giants game because, whatever. You can't just blame it on Scotty. Scotty's a great guy. I know Scotty very well.
Yeah.
I see him every year because one of my big supporters down there, Bills backers, is Jimmy Old Town Tavern. They have us there every year, and Scotty lives there in the area, and I see him all the time. We talk, and Scotty's a humble guy, man. And I just, sometimes I feel for him because that's what people are seeing him as and known as.
I know.
And I said, guys, you know what? Scotty was a great kicker. Unfortunately, it's just that time when it's supposed to count, he didn't get it done. But he was a great kicker, and poor guy had to live with that. And I always talk and say he's a normal guy. Scotty's a good guy. He's been always quiet in the locker room. Still the same personality now. Just a quiet guy, that really soft demeanor, and never cause trouble. And but I see, like I said, we all have our days, and we're human. Football players are human. Everybody thinks of us that being non-human, but we're human, and that's how it happened. So we look at it, we make mistakes. Like I said, it shouldn't have came to the kick. They should have had. We could have scored one more touchdown or made one more.
That's
tackle.
Right. That's right. Sometimes, someplace during the game, there was something else that would have made it a little bit different, and he wouldn't have been in that position. Now we're about ready to go, but can you name? And this is probably a stretch. Can you name another big league player who is? I'll tell you right now, a baseball player who's also a musician.
Baseball. I'm not a big baseball guy, so I wouldn't even.
Because this guy reminds me of you, or you remind me of him. It's Bernie Williams.
Oh, Bernie Williams?
Bernie Williams, yeah. Yeah, same thing. Big league.
He plays guitar?
Yeah, he plays guitar. He's kind of blues, jazz, whatever. But but not only was he a big league, major league baseball player, but also a musician just like you. Kind of remind me of you.
And he doesn't play now, correct? He's retired, like.
Oh yeah. I think he's older than you, although he looks his age. Not like you. So not like you. You don't look your age.
He keep himself up like me, huh?
Yes, right.
Yeah. Sorry. Come on, Ernie. Listen, have Ernie get a hold of me. I have to put him on my program. So.
Well. Unfortunately, we're out of time. But this has been delightful.
Fun,
oh my God, it's been a lot of fun.
I'm losing track of time. I was like, wow, we've been on here for a while, but this is when you're having fun, time flies.
Yeah, and let's give the web address for your foundation again.
Yes, guys, if you're listening out there, it's www.thebutchrollefoundation.org. Go on there and, hey, bless a kid, man. I'm telling you, you'll be happy. You'll be great. You'll be appreciated. You'll be grateful, and you'll be doing a great thing, man. Like I said, our foundation really supports kids, and we do this all year long. And that's my passion. I'm going to continue to do it. And like I said, I can't do it without the support of the mafia.
I tell you, Butch, I think I just formed another friendship.
Okay. I like it. That's where you got my. Hey, I'm here, man. That's just what it is. I'm looking for friends all over. Continued friends. That's what I do. I look for people who are there, who look and believe in what we're doing, and that's important to me because I know you have a genuine concern to be supportive and to help the foundation reach our goals every year.
Well, everybody, next week, same place, same time, it's a No Nonsense Roundtable.
Thanks for listening. Tune in every Saturday from 10 to 11 on News Radio Wham 1180. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll make more.